Pacquiao, at his age, which is sad that he has to fight.
If Pacquiao wants to come back as a Hall of Famer and fight one more time, whatever. He didn't look good against Yordenis Ugas, and that was 5 years ago. We've seen him in these exhibitions looking fleshy, to say the least.
Floyd Mayweather didn't hold back after seeing the latest training footage of Manny Pacquiao, who at 46 years old is still pushing hard in the gym. Known for his confident and often sharp commentary, Mayweather's reaction to Pacquiao's comeback efforts was clear and direct: stay retired. As fans watch the boxing legend defy age with his intense training regimen, the rivalry between these two icons reignites, not in the ring, but through words and challenges off it.
I think it's terrible, to be honest with you. I mean, it just sort of like sums up the way boxing's going these days. The WBC, I think, is for so many years has been known as the most respected out there, you know, the famous green belt, you know, but boxing just seems to turn the corner, you know, a 58-year-old Mike Tyson fighting Jake Paul, 46-year-old Manny Pacquiao coming back, not just coming back after years of retirement, straight into the top 10 of the world rankings and fighting for the most prestigious belt of the WBC. It's unfair to the fighters that have been working hard to get ranked.
Pacquiao, the only 8-division world champion in boxing history, officially retired in 2021 to focus on his political career in the Philippines. However, in May, he announced a surprising return to boxing, set to challenge Mario Barrios for the WBC welterweight title on July 19th. Despite showing flashes of his former technical prowess and speed during recent training sessions with longtime coach Freddie Roach in Los Angeles, fans and boxing experts expressed deep concern about his physical condition and readiness.
Because what's the worst case scenario? Someone gets seriously hurt. Someone has like life-altering injuries, and that could happen in boxing. We've seen this. Manny Pacquiao isn't immune to this. He's been knocked out. He's been hit. He's not Floyd, who has been hardly hit. Like, he's been knocked out cold. I thought when he got knocked out by Marquez, I thought he died. It was that scary.
Yeah.
Remember that one? So
I do.
Ultimately, I'm most surprised that if it hasn't been officially announced, if it lands in Nevada or California, I'll be very surprised and dare I say disappointed.
WBC President Mauricio Suleiman confirmed the bout, which marks a full-circle moment for Pacquiao, whose first world title was at flyweight with the WBC. Despite a lackluster performance in a 2024 exhibition match against Japanese kickboxer Rukiya Anpo, Pacquiao remains confident, citing his 2019 victory over Keith Thurman and minimal recent ring damage. He last fought professionally in August 2021, losing to Yordenis Ugas.
No, Mario Barrios is the WBC champion, so who is he mandated to fight next? Do you have made that decision yet?
Well, at this time, Mario Barrios is going to fight Manny Pacquiao in July. That's a tremendous fight. There's a final elimination taking place in North Africa, New Guinea with Chisoko. And there's just many interests in the division. It's a great weight category.
I didn't know about Manny Pacquiao, so is this something is it out there? I've not seen anything about this.
Yes, it was released, PBC. Manny Pacquiao first title was the flyweight WBC, and he wants to retire as WBC champion, so he's fighting in the welterweight division.
Max Kellerman, a respected boxing analyst, has often highlighted Pacquiao's remarkable achievements across multiple weight classes. While Kellerman acknowledged Mayweather's natural size advantage and technical prowess, he emphasized Pacquiao's unique ability to ascend through weight divisions and remain competitive at the highest levels. Kellerman posited that Pacquiao's success in higher weight classes, despite being naturally smaller, bolstered his case as one of the greatest pound-for-pound fighters in boxing history.
Either for Pacquiao, take his peak. Was it at 140 pounds when he obliterated Ricky Hatton, Miguel Cotto, and then Oscar De La Hoya, though that was at 147? Was that Pacquiao's peak? Because remember, that's when the Mayweather-Pacquiao hype actually reached fever pitch. Oh my God. These are two of the best fighters we've ever seen, and they're both in their primes, in the same weight class at the same time. We have to see that fight.
Manny Pacquiao's return to professional boxing has sparked discussions about the motivations behind his comeback, with financial considerations being a prominent factor. In past instances, Pacquiao has openly acknowledged that financial needs influenced his decisions to re-enter the ring. For example, in 2016, he stated, "Boxing is my main source of income. I can't rely on my salary as a public official," highlighting the financial responsibilities he bears, including supporting extended family and aiding those in need.
As you guys may have heard, there are lots of reports coming out that Manny Pacquiao is down to only $26 million. I know many people are being sarcastic. $26 million is not going broke, but when you're supposed to have $100 million or more, that's not very good. Robert, what do you say? If you had $26 million, are you going broke or is that an improvement?
Well, like you just said, a lot of people could say, if I had 20, come on, then $26 million is a lot of fucking money. But for somebody like Pacquiao, well, yeah, maybe, his account is getting to a point where he feels like he's going broke, but that's still a lot of money. Plus, in November he's gonna make another 20, and then he could fight,
You can fight Brandon, and then you can make 20.
Three more fights and make 60 in all three, or maybe close to 100. I don't even know how much he makes, but he does make a lot of money. So
boxing experts suggest Barrios may have the tools to potentially finish Pacquiao, suggesting a scenario where Pacquiao is either knocked out or beaten convincingly enough to prompt a final retirement. Still, the discussion isn't entirely bleak for Pacquiao. The speaker notes that power is often the last attribute to fade in a boxer. If Pacquiao can land his trademark left hand cleanly, he could still do significant damage. Ultimately, the fight is framed as risky but not unwinnable, an emotional and physical gamble for an aging legend, trying to defy time once more.
Welcome to Hood Champion Boxing and Sports. In boxing, you find a way to win or you find a way to lose. Let me tell you something. Manny Pacquiao and Mario Barrios. Not really sure what the hell's going on here. WBC is doing their thing to take care of Pacquiao. They ain't worried about Ryan Garcia and Devin Haney bullshit. They looking at trying to breathe life back into the 147-pound division. So Manny Pacquiao's getting another opportunity. Let me tell you something. Pacquiao should be the A side. The man bring a whole country. Barrios ain't quite doing that. But to come out here and think Manny Pacquiao is just going to get in here and put the bing-bings on Barrios, I understand having the mindset and remember what Manny Pacquiao was. He's not that, people. So if you ask me, him fighting Barrios, who wins? I got to give the edge to Barrios. But as far as who's going to win financially, it's Manny Pacquiao. Barrios gets some dough too, but it's Manny Pacquiao. That's it.
What makes this matchup even more problematic is the rumored sanctioning of the fight as a welterweight title bout. If a boxer who hasn't fought in years can jump ahead of active contenders and challenge for a belt purely based on name recognition, it undermines the very structure and integrity of boxing's ranking system. It disrespects younger fighters who have worked hard to earn their shot through consistent performance and competition.
Because it's Manny Pacquiao's special.
I think it's a mistake, really do, and they should be quite embarrassed.
Shut up.
He's the best fighter I've ever been in a ring with.
I can fight anybody.
They don't have the passion, bro. They don't have the desire, bro.
Maybe that's why Manny decided to come back and give it a try.
Vicious win.
He is hands down the best fighter I've ever fought. I didn't have as much respect for him prior to after, obviously. Now that I understand how difficult he is to deal with, there's no one else like him. You can't prepare for him.
Yeah, G, mediocre.
I mean, it's a good name to have on your resume, but as long as he ain't in my way.
Good luck to your next fight. Do the best.
Even then, Barrios is young. Barrios is a strong guy, that could actually hurt Manny.
Stop it. Have you ever been hit in the liver?
He's way craftier than people give him credit for. It's not just all balls to the wall.
I think we're gonna be worried about what happens in that fight.
That's a joke, really?
No, I got to cut you. That's the rule.
I will be there for free.
Let's talk about it.
Moreover, the sanctioning bodies, particularly the WBC, are being accused of hypocrisy. They enforce strict mandatory defenses for some fighters while bending the rules to accommodate stars like Pacquiao. Critics argue that if the sport continues to prioritize profit over fairness and health, it sends the wrong message. That legacy and money are worth more than merit and athlete safety.
Manny Pacquiao versus Mario Barrios is a done deal. Fight will either happen July 19th or July 26th in Las Vegas or San Antonio. And it's not going to be a pay-per-view. It's going to be free on Amazon Prime. Whew. We blast Jake Paul for these types of fights. And yet a current world champion and Mario Barrios is going to go after Manny Pacquiao. Listen, I get it. You get to share the ring with the legend of Manny Pacquiao, one of the greatest to all ever do it. But he's been retired now. He's already in the Hall of Fame. Manny Pacquiao did not look good in his previous exhibition he did last year either. Mario Barrios should easily run laps around Manny Pacquiao, destroy him. Why are we wasting time with this type of fight? It makes absolutely no sense to me. Listen, 147, welterweight. Me and Talani just got done talking about this in our interview. 147 is a historically great boxing division. And there is great talent in the division right now. But the problem is that guys don't want to fight each other. We don't want unifications. We don't want undisputed. And we're getting fights like Manny Pacquiao versus Mario Barrios. Why? This fight makes absolutely no sense. If this is even somewhat competitive, that is embarrassing on Mario Barrios' part. Why are we wasting time with this fight? Listen, Brian Norman Jr. should be fighting Boots Ennis, but he chose a decent alternative. Fighting Sasaki in Japan is fine. That's still two debatably top 5 fighters in the welterweight division fighting each other. I'm A-okay with that decision. Boots Ennis finally stepped up and he did the unification fight against Danny Onis. Great. Manny Pacquiao versus Mario Barrios. Okay, if this was for a massive bag, I get it. But you're fighting for a non-pay-per-view event, so you're going to be fighting for free against a guy like Manny Pacquiao. Why? There are plenty of other fights to be making. But yet we're getting Manny Pacquiao and Mario Barrios. Is Manny Pacquiao even ready to fight in the ring? Why is he... I get he still loves the sport, but listen. You are an all-time great, a legend of the sport, a Hall of Famer. Why return? Why not just go pursue other things? If anything, do those little cheap expedition fights that you did last year, or those that are similar to that of what Floyd Mayweather keeps doing. Why is Manny Pacquiao doing a real legitimate fight? I get for its world championship, but against Mario Barrios. Why is Mario Barrios agreeing to this?
Carl Frampton has expressed deep concern over Manny Pacquiao's planned return to the boxing ring, labeling it as shameful, embarrassing, and downright dangerous. Frampton, a former two-weight world champion, believes that Pacquiao's comeback at this age is ill-advised and poses significant risks to his health and legacy. Frampton emphasized that while Pacquiao's love for boxing is evident, the physical demands of the sport at such an advanced age could lead to serious consequences. He pointed out that the speed and reflexes that once defined Pacquiao's style have naturally diminished, making him vulnerable in the ring. Frampton's primary concern is the potential for injury and the tarnishing of Pacquiao's storied career.
It's a joke, really. There's the thought. It's an absolute joke. I love Manny Pacquiao. Love everything about him. An all-time great in terms of what he's done previous, but that doesn't entitle you to just walk back in after 6 years and get a number 4 ranking with the WBC and fight for a world title. What about all the other guys that are waiting around? It's wrong. We seen Manny Pacquiao fight an exhibition against a kickboxer in his last fight, and kickboxers can't box, right? I've seen world champion kickboxers coming and sparring boxers. They can't box. They can kick, but they can't, and they can kick and box a little bit. They can't really box, and Manny didn't look great. I mean, yep, I don't know. The WBC, I think we have a lot of time for him, Rich O'Sullivan, but I think it's a mistake, really do, and they should be quite embarrassed allowing a 46-year-old Manny Pacquiao straight in for a world title fight.
Speculations of Manny Pacquiao's return to the ring in early 2024 sparked major buzz across the boxing world. The legendary fighter was set to face Muay Thai icon Buakaw Banchamek in a high-profile exhibition bout on April 20th, 2024. Designed under special rules combining boxing and Muay Thai, the match aimed to highlight both athletes' unique styles while reducing injury risk. More than just a fight, the event was a commercial spectacle, with a reported $25 million purse underscoring its massive appeal, especially in Asia where both fighters are revered. For Pacquiao, the bout offered a financially rewarding comeback without the pressure of a sanctioned professional contest. For Buakaw, it was a rare and prestigious opportunity to compete against a global legend. While some critics dismissed the match's competitiveness, fans and promoters embraced it as a celebration of two icons in a showcase that balanced entertainment, respect, and safety.
You know, Buakaw's style is good for the Muay Thai sports, and I don't know that boxing is different than Muay Thai, and you know we're going to fight in boxing, so you know what I'm talking about. It's hard for him to adjust without using elbows, legs like that. So it just, you know, you need to train hard and work hard because it's hard to. It's very hard to focus. I got a big round of applause for Manny.
Manny Pacquiao's comeback plans encountered significant challenges during his exhibition match against Japanese kickboxer Rukia Anpo on July 28, 2024. Initially set to face Chihiro Suzuki, Pacquiao had to adjust to a last-minute change when the taller and younger Anpo stepped in as a replacement. Standing at 6 feet, Anpo utilized his height and reach advantage to keep Pacquiao at bay, delivering precise jabs and combination that tested the boxing legend's defenses. Despite Pacquiao's efforts to close the distance and employ his signature footwork, he struggled to penetrate Anpo's guard, particularly in the first 2 rounds.
Anpo is bigger than me. It's too big for me, and the floor mat is different to boxing because in boxing just a little bit, but in MMA like so it's hard to move with shoes. So, but it's good. Good experience. We give a good action fight to the fans. Elbow is about my back head is like. Is swelling a little bit because his elbow, like when he punch, like he can move, he can punch. The thing is, he can be a boxer. He can be a boxer, but in his weight division, there's a lot of also a good fighter in his weight division, like a bigger guy. It's that's right. It's really surprising to me that the
Promoter Ben Shalom has expressed serious concerns over Manny Pacquiao's return to professional boxing, emphasizing the health risks associated with such a comeback. Shalom highlighted the dangers of aging fighters returning to the ring. He remarked, "It is very hard as a promoter to say it, but equally, if you have enough money in the bank, you have to protect your health." Shalom drew parallels to boxing legends like Muhammad Ali, whose late career fights had detrimental effects on their health. He noted that fighters often find it difficult to step away from the sport due to their addiction to the adrenaline and excitement of competition. However,
thank you to Manny Pacquiao. Unbelievable career that we may never have a career like that again. I want you to take with you when it comes to Manny Pacquiao is moments. By taking themselves out of a comfort zone, challenging themselves. And Manny Pacquiao is a dinosaur when it last of a dying breed. We're not gonna see too many fighters like this ever again. And Pacquiao is gonna be the type of fighter that we tell our kids about. Pacquiao has 20 wins, greater than some of your favorite fighters' best win. Manny Pacquiao has 3 Hall of Fame careers in one, winning legit titles in 8 different weight classes. Pacquiao's legacy will age better and better and better. Times go on and on and on. A fighter like Floyd Mayweather, I think his legacy will diminish a little bit. Salute to Manny Pacquiao, one of the greatest of all time.
Ricky Hatton also raises the alarm on how far the sport is willing to stretch age limits for big names. He sees the Pacquiao versus Barrios bout as part of a troubling pattern, one where aging legends are approved for competitive fights that might do more harm than good. Hatton reflects on his own experience and relates it to cases like Mike Tyson's late return, suggesting that regulators are no longer strict enough when it comes to protecting fighters. He doesn't doubt that Pacquiao still has skill, but he questions whether he should be allowed to compete at this level.
4 years he's fighting for the WBC welterweight title. That's July the 19th in Vegas, ironically. What did you make of that news when you heard it?
Well, it's boxing today, innit? To be honest with you, boxing's, you know, if you can let a 58-year-old Mike Tyson box a Jake Paul, then, you know, Manny Pacquiao going back at 46 doesn't look too bad, does it? But Manny is coming back, though. You know, Tyson was coming back fighting Jake Paul. Manny's coming back fighting for the world title. But, and I say this with love, you know, how has Manny got his world title shot? He's been retired 6 years. He can't. He's got that on a previous successes, hasn't he? You know, to walk straight after being retired so many years ago, straight into a world title fight. How is that allowed possible? What happened? Surely he must have been dropped out of the rankings when he retired. All of a sudden he decided to make a comeback. They put him straight in at #1 contender. I think
only boxing can answer that.
I think did you say fifth, Joe? He's been already placed fifth in the world ranking.
Eddie Hearn, known for his frank and strategic insights, would likely express intrigue over Manny Pacquiao's decision to fight Mario Barrios, especially given Pacquiao's age and long layoff from the ring. Hearn might praise Pacquiao's legendary status, emphasizing how his speed and experience still pose a threat, even at 46. However, he would also stress the risks involved. Barrios is younger, active, and recently defeated Ugas to win the WBC interim welterweight title. Hearn might question whether Pacquiao is chasing legacy or just staying relevant in a competitive welterweight scene. He could point out that while this bout could draw strong pay-per-view interest, especially among Filipino and Latino fans, it also raises concerns about fighter safety and longevity. Pacquiao's new training footage has reignited debates in the boxing world. His speed, footwork, and dedication remain impressive, sparking admiration and concern from fans and former rivals alike. Among the voices reacting to this comeback tease is Floyd Mayweather, whose legendary rivalry with Pacquiao still looms large in boxing history. Whether Mayweather sees this as a true threat, a nostalgic moment, or simply a promotional move, one thing is clear: Pacquiao continues to defy expectations. What do you think about Pacquiao's latest training footage? Drop your thoughts in the comments below.